a tribute to Josh Ritter, and I am doing this for two reasons. At least, well, one of the reasons, so actually three. One of the reasons is because I can, so there's that. But then, also, yesterday marked the fifth anniversary of the release of Sermon on the Rocks, the Josh Ritter album, which is just a spectacular album. There is really just no understating how amazing this record is. And so this kind of started off as okay, I'm going to play that album all the way through. And then I was like, well, no, there are some other songs of his that I really, really like. And so uh, I just kind of played those. And then I'm like, well, I think I had like 21 songs or something. And I'm like, well, that's not a good number. And, 21 is not a prime number, but, it's not an even number. It's not like 25 where it's divisible by 5, things like that, right? And so I wound up with about 30 songs that 30 songs of his that I wanted to play. And so that ended up being probably just under 2 hours, I would say. And so that's one of those things that man, I just didn't even realize, or like until I really sat down with it, um, I didn't really think about just what an incredible songwriter he was, and continues to be, thankfully. And yeah, it's just pretty incredible. So I'm going to take you through Josh Ritter's catalog. And, I was actually I was at Martin Music, had some business there today, and was wearing this shirt, which is, if you can see, it's Sermon on the Rocks. And so this guy at Martin Music says to me, he goes, hey, nice Josh Ritter shirt. And it took a second for me to register, like, A, what he said, and B, just like what he said. Like the significance of that, because there are so many people. I know a lot of musicians, but I don't know why, but they just haven't heard of Josh Ritter. And this guy said, yeah, I think Josh Ritter is the greatest songwriter of our generation. And honestly, it's hard for me to disagree. I might throw like, Jason Isbell or somebody like that in there, and I'll get to that common thread. I'll get to that common thread in a little bit, but just an incredible songwriter. And so I'm celebrating Sermon on the Rocks. But then Josh's birthday is also on, let's see, what day would that be? That'd be Monday, I believe. And Monday of next week, maybe not. It's the 21st is his birthday, and so that is that. That's gonna bug me. There we go. Wednesday of next week is Josh Ritter's birthday, so I figured, hey, this is a good excuse to just play all Josh Ritter stuff, and do that. But anyway, so this is, we're going to go from the beginning of his discography, and talk about some other stuff. Just kind of go through. This is everywhere that he is, and everywhere that he's been writing about, and all of that good stuff. So his first album was his self-titled album, and that is it's a really interesting album. I like it a lot, and there are actually better songs than the ones I'm playing. But I was in a John Prine mood when I was rehearsing. I'm always in a John Prine mood, and so I thought, hey, this is a good representation of John Prine, or him trying to emulate John Prine. And so this is a Hotel Song. It's off of his debut album, and I hope you enjoy it. Sunday night at supper time, the hotel's full and all is fine. You can see that no vacancy sign from the window of room 39. Monday morning, 8:30, everybody's gone, they left no trace. I sit alone as the day grows late, I wait to see your friendly face. Why you chose my hotel, I'm not real qualified, I'm not real qualified to tell. It's your face I remember well, when you asked if I had a room to sell. Maybe you just like what you saw, the cable TV, the indoor spa. Maybe it was the low price, $27 a night. Say the highway is for lovers, but it ain't no friend of mine. 'Cause every time I find my heart, I lose it to that long yellow line. You checked in, I checked you out. You smiled in the corners of your mouth. I turned on the no vacancy sign as you checked into room 39. I saw the light from your TV. You were watching channel 23. The night was long, the dark was deep. I kinda cried myself to sleep. They say the highway is for lovers, but he ain't no friend of mine. 'Cause every time I find my heart, I lose it to that long yellow line. Morning broke itself at last. You got your continental breakfast, dropped up the key and said goodbye. I think I thought I heard you sigh. I caught a glimpse of your license plate. You were driving down the interstate. It said you were from Delaware. I said, oh, it must be gorgeous there. They say the highway is for lovers, but it ain't no friend of mine. 'Cause every time I find my heart, I lose it to that long yellow line. They say the highway is for lovers, but it ain't no friend of mine. 'Cause every time I find my heart, I lose it to that long yellow line. All right, and that was Hotel Song by the one and only Josh Ritter, whose career we are celebrating tonight. That is a great, great song, and like I said, it is off of his debut album. I want to give a shout out to my friend Jill, who tuned in. I'm actually part of a Josh Ritter fan group, a Josh Ritter fan page, and it's a great, great thing just to be able to talk about and talk about all of those great things that Josh Ritter does. So shout out to my friend Jill for doing that. And all of that, I'm just going to message her back really quick. And there we go. All right, cool. So I appreciate everybody tuning in. And I actually shared it to that fan page, that group, and I had a guy from Ireland say he was interested. So that'd be a lot to ask to stay up and watch. I know it's sometime in Ireland. I want to say like 3 a.m., 3:30, maybe something like that. But if you are tuning in, I appreciate you. Thank you, Matt, for tuning in as well. I appreciate all of you guys for doing that, and it's great to be able to share this with people, random strangers, but then also people that I know as well. So we are going to move on to Josh's second album, and that is the Golden Age of Radio. Appreciate you, Matt. Thank you, my friendly neighborhood Facebook group admin. So this next song is a song, like I said, off of Josh's second album, The Golden Age of Radio, or just Golden Age of Radio. And what's interesting to me about this song, and we've kind of talked about this in the Josh Ritter Facebook group, that actually the two songs that I'm going to play off of Golden Age of Radio have really, really good live versions to them. This one, the great live version, he actually just released off of See Here, I Have Built You a Mansion, which I'll talk about later. But there's a live version of this song, Lawrence, Kansas, on that particular record. And so, oddly, when I was listening to all of Josh's songs over the summer, I listened to his discography in its entirety, and this one must have slipped my mind because it's on Golden Age of Radio too, but the live version is fabulous. So I'm going to do my own live version, which is terribly pared down, but this is Lawrence, Kansas, and I hope you enjoy it. Dirt roads and dry land farming might be the death of me, but I can't leave this world behind. And my debts are not like prison, where there's hope of getting free. Lord, I can't leave this world behind. And I've been from here to Lawrence, Kansas, trying to leave my state of mind, trying to leave this awful sadness, but I can't leave this world behind. South of Delia, there's a patch out back by the willow trees. Lord, I can't leave this world behind. It's a fenced-in place of nothing. I hear voices on my knees, and I can't leave this world behind. Some prophecies are self-fulfilling, but I've had to work for all of mine. Better times will come to me, God willing, 'cause I can't leave this world behind. This world must be frightening, everybody's on the run. I can't leave this world behind. And my house is on a wooden one, it seems I can't leave this world behind. Preacher says when the master calls us, he's gonna give us wings to fly. But my wings are made of hay and corn husks, so I can't leave this world behind. Yeah, I can't leave this world behind. All right, and that was Lawrence, Kansas. Hope you enjoyed that. Again, this is the Just Joshin live stream, a tribute to Josh Ritter, who is one of my favorite songwriters. I mean, he is about to be 44 next week and, has 21 years worth of music. But even with that, there's just some incredible stuff from start to finish. And so I wanted to make sure that I showcased as much of that as I could. And, had stuff from each of the albums. I didn't dive into his EPs too much, except for his most recent one. See Here, I Have Built You a Mansion, and so I'll get to that later. But we got one more song from Golden Age of radio, and this is Harrisburg. And this contains just one of my absolute favorite hooks, and so that's going to be fun. And I hope you guys enjoy it. This is Harrisburg. Romero got married on the 5th of July in Our Lady of Immaculate Dawn. Could have gotten married in the revival man's tent, but there ain't no reviving what's gone. Slipped like a shadow from the family he made in a little white house by the woods. Dropped his kids at the mission with a rose for the Virgin. She knew he was gone for good. It's a long way to heaven, it's closer to Harrisburg, and that's still a long way from the place where we are. And if evil exists, it's a pair of train tracks, and the devil is a railroad car. Could have stayed somewhere, but the train tracks kept going, and it seems like they always left too soon. And the wolves he ran with, moan low and painful, sang sad miseries to the moon. It's a long way to heaven, it's closer to Harrisburg, and that's still a long way from the place where we are. And if evil exists, it's a pair of train tracks, and the devil is a railroad car. Rose at the altar, withered and wilted, Romero sank into a dream. He didn't make heaven, he didn't make Harrisburg, he died in a hole in between. Some say the man is the root of all evil, others say God's a drunkard for pain. Me, I say the Garden of Eden was burned to make way for a train. It's a long way to heaven, it's closer to Harrisburg, and that's still a long way from the place where we are. And if evil exists, it's a pair of train tracks, and the devil is a railroad car. And the devil is a railroad car. All right, and that was Harrisburg. The line in the chorus, "It's a long way to heaven, it's closer to Harrisburg," just strikes me as being funny, but really, really a good line as well. So we have a question, which never happens on my live streams, so I really appreciate that. So the question is, how did I discover Josh and his music? And the story behind that was around 2013, probably right around the time that the album was released, honestly. I was watching David Letterman, and this guy named Josh Ritter just happened to be the musical guest. I'd never heard of him before, and so I listened, and he was promoting the Beast in Its Tracks at the time. and the song "Joy to You, Baby," which I'll play a little later. And I was just entranced by it. It was just such a good song. And so I texted my friend Pat, who we share a lot of music and all of that. And I said, "Man, you got to check out Josh Ritter." And he's just a phenomenal songwriter. And so my friend texts me back and he goes, "No way." He said, "I actually love Josh Ritter, and some of his stuff, some of your stuff actually reminds me of his stuff, and or some of his stuff reminds me of yours, whatever." And so that was kind of interesting that, like, we're on the same wavelength in that regard. But then I kind of forgot about him until a couple years later, and I just get on a kick of searching random musicians that I like and seeing if they're playing anywhere near me. And so sure enough, Josh Ritter was playing in Memphis, which is where I live now. And I'm sorry, he was playing in Nashville, but close enough to Memphis. So I bought tickets, just kind of on a whim, saying like, "Yeah, I only know one of his songs." And of course, he didn't play "Joy to You, Baby," but there were certain songs of his that he played. That I still remember. And I don't have his set list memorized, but every time I go back and look at it, I remember, oh yeah, no, I remember he played that and that and that. And so it was just incredible. And one of the things that stuck out to me when I saw him, the opening act was a band called Barnstorm, which was or Barnstar, maybe, I can't remember which. But Zachariah Hickman, who's Josh's bass player, fronts that band, and he played some song or that Josh wrote. And he said, any other artist, if they would have, they would have been a little bit possessive of their songs, but Josh wrote this and was nice enough to give it to my band, and it barely made a dent in the great songs that he's written. And that's just always stuck out to me in terms of Josh's songwriting, but then also his generosity in terms of giving songs to other artists, working with other artists. And I'll talk about that a little bit later as well. But that's kind of a long answer to how I discovered Josh's music. But then actually the story's not over yet, because when we were in quarantine, I can't remember how, but somehow I got wind of the live streams that he was doing from his house or apartment or whatever. And so I got wind of those, and then I really started diving into his catalog as he did. And now my mom is into Josh Ritter as well. I sent her, I think, The Curse, which I'll play in a little bit, and then Change of Time. Those two songs, and he played both of them, and I sent her the whole live stream. I said, "Listen to this," because it's incredible. And so that's how I started off as a Josh Ritter fan, and then just kind of grew my obsession little by little. But yeah, I mean, I am a gigantic Bob Dylan fan, and so I was talking to somebody today, as I said earlier, who said he thinks that Josh Ritter is the greatest songwriter of our generation. And I wouldn't throw that out lightly, but I think he is definitely in the running, if not the greatest of our generation, because he has that sense of literature that Bob Dylan does. So he can make these kind of wild, goofy characters, but also make them relatable. In the way that Dylan does quite a bit. So we've already covered his first two albums, and now we get into his third album, which was Hello Starling. And the song that everybody goes for, and similar to this, to Harrisburg and to Lawrence, Kansas. Harrisburg was actually on the set list in his Live from Ivy Gardens show that he did, and made it into a concert video and all of that. And so one of the crowd favorites is the song Kathleen, and so I'm going to play this. And it's funny because the guy that I was talking to earlier today at this record, or at this guitar store, I should say, guitar shop, knew all about Kathleen, and it was funny because he was saying, "Oh, have you heard Kathleen?" And part of the reason why I went in is because I broke a string, and for whatever reason, I don't have one of those things, or really, if somebody else has always broken my guitar strings, so that's my rule, that you have to replace it. And so, it's rare that I actually have to. But anyway, so I went in to get the string fixed, and this guy says, "Oh, have you heard the song Kathleen?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, "Actually, when I was practicing earlier today, I was in the middle of playing Kathleen and my string broke. So hopefully I don't have the same fate here. But this is Kathleen, and I hope you enjoy it." All the other girls here are stars. You are the northern lights. They try to shine through your curtains. You're too close and too bright. They try and they try, but everything they do is the ghost of a trace of a pale imitation of you. I'll be the one to drive you back home, Kathleen. This party was made with a night air and a chance that a smile will wind its way from your face to one of the boys in your line. You act like you're hip to their tricks, that you're strong. But a virgin, well, it's a heart never once had a song. I'll be the one to drive you back home, Kathleen. And I'll have you back by the break of day. I'm going your way anyway. And if you like to come along, I'll be yours for a song. I know you are waiting, and I know it's not for me. But I'm here and I'm ready, and I've saved you the passenger seat. I won't be your last dance, just your last good night. Every heart is a package tangled up in knots someone else has tied. I'll be the one to drive you back home, Kathleen. So crawl up your trellis and quietly back into your room. And I'll coast down the length of your drive by the light of the moon. And next time we meet, a new kind of hello. Both our hearts have a secret only both of us know. About the night that I drove you back home, Kathleen. All right, and that was Kathleen. Again, we are to Josh's third album, which is an album called Hello Starling from 2003. Really phenomenal album. And there's another song that's on there that everybody really loves, and for good reason. And that is Bone of Song. So I'm going to play that one next. And we're going to go from there. There we go. All right, cool. All right. So, and I do want to just point out that actually this is probably the case on a lot of these. I end up doing my own arrangements on them, but it's weird because when I was listening to the original, the chord progression reminds me of If You're Gone, the intro to If You're Gone by Matchbox 20 for some reason. Got a little 3-year window between those two songs being released, but this is Bone of Song, and I hope you enjoy it. Just where it now lies, I can no longer say. I found it on a cold in November day, in the roots of a sycamore tree where it hid so long. In a box made out of mud laid the bone of song. The bone of song was a jawbone old and bruised, and worn out in service of a muse. And along its sides and teeth were written words. Yeah, I ran my palm along them as I heard. Lucky are you finds me in the wilderness. I am the only unquiet ghost that does not sing rest. The words of the bone of song were close and small, and although their tongues were dead, I could hear them hum in the hieroglyphs of quills and quatrain lines. Osiris, the fall of Troy, and alongside Catherine Mulberry, Magnificat, you're cheating not. The chords of a covenant singing for the ark. Then I saw a new white space that was left, a blessing written It said, leave me here, I care for neither wealth nor fame. Yeah, I remember your song, but I forget your name. The words that I sang blew off like leaves in the wind. Yeah, and perched like birds in the branches before landing on the bone again. Then the bone was quiet, it said no more to leave. So I wrapped it in the ribbons of a sycamore tree. And as night had come, I turned around and knit it on, with a lightness in my step and a song in my bones. Lucky are you who finds me in the wilderness. I am the only unquiet ghost that does not sing rest. All right, and that was Bone of Song by Josh Ritter. I shouldn't have to check on that. All the songs we're doing today are by Josh Ritter. And I appreciate everybody who has tuned in. Got Victoria Brownlee tuning in. Absolutely. I remember Lauren Brownlee. Thank you so much for giving me a shout out. I appreciate you tuning in and sticking with me on this YouTube page. Hope you're enjoying the show, and we are going to continue. So we are going to move on to the Animal Years. And this is a Josh Ritter album that he wrote around 2006. And that's at least when it was released. But what he says about this is he said I wanted to write a song about or write an album about America, and he said that it turned out to be a little bit more like a love letter, and this is one that isn't necessarily like that, although it is a love letter, but not necessarily to America. So this is a song called "Girl in the War," and I hope you enjoy it. Peter said to Paul, you know, all those words we wrote are just rules in the game, and the rules are the first to go. But now talking to God is like Laurel begging naughty for a gun. Yeah, I got a girl in the war, man, I wonder what it is we've done. Paul said to Peter, gotta rock yourself a little harder. Pretend the dove from above is a dragon and your feet are on fire. But I got a girl in the war, Paul, the only thing I know to do is to turn up the music and pray that she makes it through. Because the keys to the kingdom got locked inside the kingdom, and the angels fly around there, but we just can't see them. I got a girl in the war, Paul, I know that you can hear me, yeah. If they can find a way to hell, man, they can go to hell. If they can find a way to hell, man, I know they can go to hell. Peter said to Paul, Paul said to Peter, gotta rock yourself a little harder. Pretend the dove from above is a dragon and your feet are on fire. But I got a girl in the warm, all her eyes are like champagne. They sparkle, bubble over in the morning, all you got is rain. They sparkle, bubble over, all you got is rain. They sparkle, bubble over in the morning, all you got is rain. All right, and that was Girl in the War. Again, we are on to The Animal Years by Josh Ritter, his album there. And just for the hell of it, I guess you could say, I started writing an album with a lot of animals in them, in the titles and the lyrics and all of that. Used as metaphors, and so, like I said, just for the hell of it, I called it The Animal Years. Just kind of a tongue-in-cheek reference to Josh Ritter. And I'll actually talk about one of those songs a little bit later. Actually, after the next song that I play, I'll chat about that. I love The Animal Years. I only did 2 songs, but there are so many other good songs off of that record. And so it just kind of ended up shaking out this way. But this next song is a song called Idaho, and I hope you enjoy it. All those loves, all those mistakes. What else can a poor man make? So I gave up my life of crime, give it to a friend of mine, the only ghost I'm mourning by. Something else that's on my mind. I hear her howling down below. Idaho, Idaho. Wolves, oh, can't you see? Ain't no wolf can sing like me. And if it did, then I suppose he belongs in Idaho. Packs of dogs and cigarettes for those who ain't done packing yet. My bags are packed and I wanna go. Idaho, Idaho. Out at sea for 7 years. I got your letter in Tangier. Thought I'd been on a boat till that single word you wrote. That single word is land like me. Turn the masts to cedar trees, in the winds to gravel roads. Idaho, Idaho. Idaho, Idaho. All right, cool. All right. So that was Idaho by Josh Ritter off of the Animal Years. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing. I appreciate you. I'll be live for a couple hours probably, probably a little over 2 hours. So do not feel obligated to stay for that whole time. I'd love it if you did, but no worries if not. I appreciate you dropping by. Yeah, good to hear from you again. Hope all is well, like I said. Cool. So, we are going to move on to his next studio album, full-on album, and this is the historical conquests of Josh Ritter. So, this song, I have a lot to say about it, and he has a lot to say within it. This is a really interesting song to me. I don't really know quite what to make of it, but to me, it kind of reminds me of Bob Dylan's 115th Dream. Just a lot of really, really goofy lyrics and literary references mixed in there. But this is To the Dogs or Whoever. This is another favorite of a lot of the people on that fan page. So I hope I do it justice. This is To the Dogs or Whoever. Deep in the belly of a whale, I found her down by the deep blue jail. All around her, running her hands through the ribs of the dark. Florence and Calamity and Joan of Arc. I love the way she looks in her underwear. I lose the page in the book and plot. I swear she makes the most of her time with me by loving me plenty. She knows there'll come a day when I won't be getting any. The stain of the CV of the butcher Crimea, through the wreck of the brass band, I thought I could see her. In a cakewalk she came, through the dead in the lane. Just another bird floating in a hurricane. Yeah, I was flat on my feet with the thorns. I was in between the apples and the chloroform. She came to me often, I was sure I was dying. It was always hard to tell if she was laughing or crying. Yeah, I thought I heard somebody calling. In the dark, I thought I heard somebody call. Joan, never forget about the in-betweens. Come to head with the blade from the maid of Orleans. Say Christ, from water so we get way through the war. You don't need to tell me what the fire is for. Oh, bring me a love that can sweeten the sword, a boat that can love the rocks on the shore, love with the iceberg reaching in the wreck, and you tell me you love me like the crosses love the name of the net. Was it Casey Jones or Casey at the Bat who died out of pride and was famous for that? Killed by a swerve, laid low by a curve. Do you ever think you thought they got what they deserve? Don't pity the bullet, but pity the man who both found the place in the same old plan, who both like the barrel going over the falls, crying all the way down and never asked to be involved. Yeah, I thought I heard somebody calling. In the dark, I thought I heard somebody call. General George began the daydream, taking their pills, sent men home over the hills. Let's start that one over. General George began the day by taking little pills, sent his men to the top of some hell of a hill. Through the whisper of the trees came the artillery breeze. He said, I love the way the wind comes a-tickling at my knees. Gene shot the apple right between the eyes, sent his men to the top of the... Gene shot the apple right between her eyes. I was thinking of her when you came outside. Lemonade on your breath, sun in your head, and I mention how I love you when you're underway. Deep in the belly of a whale, I found her down with the deep blue jail all around her, running through her hands, through her ribs of the dark, Florence and Calamity and Joan of Arc. Yeah, I thought I heard somebody calling. In the dark, I thought I heard somebody call. All right. And I'm out of breath. But just a wonderful, wonderful song. So we're after that, we're gonna slow it down just a little bit and do 4 songs off the same album, and this is "So Runs the World Away." I want to say this title came from Julius Caesar, but I know it was definitely a Shakespeare play, and they all run together for me, but not for Josh Ritter. But if any of my people from the Josh Ritter fan page are still with me, please fact check me on that, because I know it's from a Shakespeare play. I just can't remember which one. Um, but this particular album is really interesting because it's kind of talking about running away, people running away from certain things, but then coming back for kind of the common good of humanity. And so this is a song called "Change of Time," and this is the one that I mentioned earlier that I sent to my mom. And said, I mean, I sent her the whole live stream, but I said "Change of Time" is definitely one that you want to watch out for. And she agreed. She said, "Man, yeah, that was a really good song." Hamlet, thank you. I appreciate you, man. All right, excellent. So this is "Change in Time." Uh, and you've got an English degree. I've got a Spanish degree, but I avoided reading Don Quixote. So you're a bigger man than I am. And that's that. Although maybe I will someday. But this is "Change in Time," "Change of Time." Excuse me. I had a dream last night. I dreamed that I was swimming in the stars up above, directionless and drifting somewhere in the dark. The silence and the thunder and around me as I swam were drifters who'd gone under. Time, love, time, love, time. Love, it's only a change of time. I had a dream last night, and rustling on the lonely battered hulls of broken hardships. Leviathan and lonely, I was thirsty, so I drank. And though it was salt water, there was something about the way it tasted so familiar. Time, love, time, love, time, love. It's only a change of time. The black clouds I am making, this anchor I am dragging, the sails of the memory rim open in the silence. We cut through the lowlands, our lands through the southlands, and the white caps of memories confusing and violent. Yeah, I had a dream last night, and when I opened my eyes, your shoulder blade, your spine were shorelines in the moonlight. New worlds for the weary, new lands for the living. I could make it if I tried. I closed my eyes and kept on swimming. Time, love, time, love, time, love. It's only a change of time. Love, time, love, time, love. It's only a change of time. Love, time, love, time, love. It's only a change of time. All right, and that was "Change of Time," like I said, from "So Runs the World Away," which is a line from Hamlet. Won't ever forget that. Thank you, Matt. So this next song, I kind of mentioned, how I came across Josh Ritter and then just kept on hearing more and more really good songs. And "Sermon on the Rocks" was the album that did it for me for like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. But The Curse was a really important song for me because just like Change of Time, The Curse was one that I heard it and I was like, oh my gosh, this is just an incredible song. And so this is The Curse. Yes, I am going to waltz right in here and play this in 3/4. But I hope you guys enjoy it. He opens his eyes, falls in love at first sight in a girl in the doorway. Oh, what beautiful lines, how full of life after thousands of years. What a face to wake up to. He holds back a sigh as she touches his arm. She dusts on the bed where till now he's been sleeping under miles of stone. The dried figure of his heart under scarab and bone starts back to its beating. She carries him home in a beautiful boat. He watches the sea from a portal in storage. She can hear all she says as she sits by his bed, and one day his lips answer her in her own language. The day's quickly massive, love's making her laugh. The first time he moves, it's her hair that he touches. She asks, are you nursed? He says, I think I am good. Then he talks of the Nile and girls in brushes. In New York he is laid in a glass-covered case. He pretends he is dead. People crowd round to see him, but each night she comes round and the two wander down the halls of the tomb that she calls a museum. Often he stops to rest, but then it's less and less. Then it's her who looks tired, staying up asking questions. He learns how to read from the papers that she is writing about him, and he makes corrections. It's his face on a book, more and more come to look. Families from Iowa, Upper West Siders. Then one day it's too much, he decides to get up, and his chaos ensues. He walks outside to find her, she's using a cane. And her face starts to pale, but he's happy to see him. As she walks, he supports her. She asks, are you nursed? He says, I think I am good. And then appears in a sandstorm of rowdy reporters. Such reanimation, the tour to the nation. He gets out of limos, he meets other women. He speaks of her fondly, their nights at the museum. But she's just one more rag now, he's dragging behind him. She stops going out, she just lays there in bed. In hotels, in whatever towns they are speaking. Then her face starts to set and her hands starting to fold. And one day the dried meg of her heart stops its beating. Long ago on the ship, she asked him why pyramids. She said, think of them as immense invitation. She asked, are you nursed? He said, I think I am cured. Then he kissed her and hoped that she'd forget the question. Whew, all right. And that was The Curse. Matt, yeah, you're right. Folk Bloodbath is great. I didn't learn that this time out, but if you subscribe to my page, I'll endeavor to play it next week. And I appreciate you for tuning in. Yeah, so that was The Curse. And like I said, those first two are kind of like the search. This is my interpretation, at least, that's kind of the search for something greater. And then, kind of being frustrated with not finding it, but then being that light that somebody else needs. Those are what the next two songs are about. And this is a song called Lantern, and I hope you enjoy it. Be the light in my lantern, the light in my lantern tonight. Be the light in my lantern, light in my lantern, be the light. Be the light in my lantern, the light in my lantern tonight. Be the light in my lantern, the light in my lantern tonight. It's a hungry world out there, even the wind will take a bite. I can feel the words circling, sniffing around me at night. And the lost sheep rotate, forsake the lambs and lie with the lions. And the living are desperate, precarious and mean, and getting by is so hard that even the rocks are picked clean. And the bones of small contention are the only food the hungry find. I need the light in my lantern, the light from my lantern tonight. The light in my lantern, light in my lantern tonight. Where the thistles eat the thorns and the roses have no chance, ain't no wonder that the babies come out crying in advance, and the children look for shelter in the hollow of some lonesome creek. And the sky is cold and clear, the stars might stick to where you stand, and you're only glad it's hot, cause you might find the master's hand. You might cast around forever and never find the peace you seek. I need the light for my lantern, the light for my lantern tonight. Be the light in my lantern, the light in my lantern tonight. For every cry in the night, somebody says have faith. Be content inside your questions, minotaurs inside your maze. Tell me what's the point of life that you have to strike a match to find? So throw away those lamentations, we both know them all too well. If there's a book of jubilations, we'll have to write it for ourselves. So come lie beside me, darling, and let's write this book while we still got time. So if you got a light, oh, that I'm a me, I need him bad tonight. Oh, that I'm a me, cause I'm face to face. Oh, that I put me in that lonesome place. Oh, that I put me with all the hurt I've done. Oh, that I'm a me, then get me undone. Oh, that I'm a me, light and guide me through. Oh, that I put me, I'll do the same for you. Oh, that I put me, I'll know that I'm for you. Cause I know you got all that I'm for you. Your own valley to walk, I'll know that I'm for you. Though it's dark as death, I'll know that I'm for you. Then it gets darker yet, I'll know that I'm for you. Though your man seems lost, I'll know that I'm for you. Through the thieves and the rocks, I'll know that I'm for you. Keep you safe from harm, I'll know that I'm for you. Until you're back in my arms, be the light in my lantern, the light in my lantern tonight. Be the light in my lantern, the light in my lantern tonight. Be the light in my lantern, the light in my lantern tonight. Be the light in my lantern, the light in my lantern tonight. All right, and that was Lantern. On the other side of the light spectrum, that's what we're going to cover right now, and that is this song called Long Shadows. Yeah, I'm not afraid of the dark. We've been here before, falling on hard times, sonny. We've fallen on swords, but if a long shadow falls across your heart, I'll be right there with you, honey. I'm not afraid of the dark. I'm not afraid of the dark when the evening lands. I'm not afraid of the dark when the sun goes down and the dreams grow teeth and the beasts come out and guess their long shadows. Every time that they start, I'll be right there with you, honey. I'm not afraid of the dark. Out on the hills, the hounds are baying. Out on the moor, the foxes run. To stay alive until the light is faded, then brave all the light that seems so long to come. I'm not afraid of the dark, so if the stars get scarce and you reach for him, honey, and he's just not there, just a long shadow across your heart, I'll be right there with you, honey. I'm not afraid of the dark. I'm not afraid of the dark when the sun goes down and the dreams grow teeth and the beasts come out and guess their long shadows. Every time they start, you can reach for me, honey. I'm not afraid of the dark. You can reach for me, honey. I'm not afraid of the dark. All right, and that was Long Shadows by Josh Ritter, and that concludes the songs that I'm doing, at least this week, for So Runs the World Away. However, like I said, Matt, if you tune in next week, I will have Folk Bloodbath learned for you. I appreciate that. I don't know if you meant to request that, but that is a really good song. And so I will keep that in mind for next week and play it if you're tuning in. So this next song, as I was saying earlier, is the first song that I ever heard by Josh Ritter, and I loved it immediately, and somehow he just continued to top that with all of the songs that I heard after that. But this is Joy to You, Baby. And this is a song off of The Beast in Its Tracks, which is, I guess, technically any album after you get divorced is a divorce album. But this was like immediately after. And so that kind of struck in here. I mean, I've never been divorced before, but I can't imagine that's easy. So it kind of baffles me that he was able to come to this semblance of peace with this song. But this is Joy to You, Baby, and I hope you appreciate it. Yeah, I go to the parties, throw my hands in the air. Yeah, I drink what they pour me, the cups of who cares. Go up in the night sky, up in the clouds, fly over the houses. Yeah, I'm looking down. Joy to the city, joy to the streets, enjoy to you, baby, wherever you sleep. Tonight, 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 tonight. There's no ghosts in the graveyard, that's not where they live. They float in between us, what isn't what, and cast our own shadows before our own eyes. You don't see them up here though, they don't come up that high. Joy to the city, the parking lot lights, the lion of evening with the rain in its eyes. Joy to the freeway, joy to the cars, and joy to you, baby, wherever you are. Tonight, 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 tonight. There's pain in whatever we stumble upon. If I hadn't have met you, then you couldn't have gone. But then I couldn't have met you, and we couldn't have been. I guess it all adds up to joy in the end. Joy to the city, the heat wave and all, the lion of evening with the rain in its paw. Joy to the many, and joy to the few, and joy to you, baby, and joy to me too. Tonight, 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 tonight. All right, and that was Joy to You, Baby from The Beast in Its Tracks, the Josh Ritter album. We are celebrating Josh Ritter all night tonight and his fabulous songwriting, because yesterday there was the 5-year anniversary of the release of not The Beast in Its Tracks, of Sermon on the Rocks, and one of my favorite albums, and we're about to get to that in just a second. But like I said earlier, Joy to You, Baby was the first Josh Ritter song that I ever heard. My whistling is no substitute for the slide guitar in the original, so I'll be sure to post a Spotify playlist in a couple of days, so just be on the lookout for that. And doing that. And Matt, I'll have to check out Good Man again too. That I'm not remembering that one off the top of my head. But if it was good enough for House, then it's good enough for me as well. So as I said, released 5 years ago yesterday, and it is just like from front to back, and this can be said for all of Josh's albums, really. This album was the first of his that I heard, and I actually got it for free when I bought tickets to see his Sermon on the Rocks tour in Nashville. But it took me a while to listen to it. Like, I don't know why. I mean, I was busy. That was probably part of it. But like, but I just, for whatever reason, didn't do that. Ooh, from Animal Years. Man, I got to give Animal Years a second listen, because I love it, but there are certain songs that I know I need to know specifics of. And so that's definitely one of them. Lily in Egypt, I know, is a really fabulous song. I just need to listen to it again. So that'll be one of my projects as well. But anyway, so I got tickets to see Josh, and there was a digital download of Sermon on the Rocks that came free with the ticket that I bought. And for some reason, I think it was maybe just my schedule, I was super busy with my first year of teaching. and I just didn't get around to listening to it until after I saw Josh live, and that was a really bad idea because his fans like just are super super loyal to him, and are really all about going to see multiples of his shows and listening to his songs beforehand. So I kind of went in cold. But in going back and listening to this, anytime I would go fly anywhere or whatever, this would be one that I would always listen to. And it's got one of the best opening tracks of any album that I have ever heard. So this is Birds of the Meadow, and I'm gonna actually play Sermon on the Rocks straight through all of the tracks. So I hope you enjoy it. This is Birds of the Meadow. I didn't come to ask you how you doing these days. I didn't come to roll no stones away, no. Yeah, I'm come to tell you that the end is nigh. I'm gonna prophesy. You wanted a messenger, and I am thee. You're EBGB man in ecstasy, but my eyes are blazing. I'm a mental dog. You better hide. Fire is coming, fire is coming. Birds of the meadow, birds of the meadow. Fire is coming, fire is coming. Birds of the meadow, birds of the meadow. Honey, I'm a wild one, all dressed in rags. I'll roll you over, turn your bedside up, yeah. Before this whole thing is over, you're gonna scream my name. I don't care if you believe me. Fire is coming, fire is coming. Birds of the meadow, birds of the meadow. Fire is coming, fire is coming. Birds of the meadow, birds of the meadow. Fire is coming, fire is coming. Birds of the meadow, birds of the meadow. Fire is coming, fire is coming. Birds of the meadow, birds of the meadow. All right, and that was Birds of the Meadow, the opening track from Sermon on the Rocks, which, as I said, is one of the big reasons why we're doing this all Josh Ritter live stream. I'm going to be playing Sermon on the Rocks in its entirety. I'll be playing it all the way through. So track 2 on Sermon on the Rocks, I should say, is a song called Young Moses, and I'll talk a little bit more about this song afterwards, but I'll say something about it before. One of the things as I was going through Josh's catalog and trying to figure out which songs to play, One of the things that occurred to me was that the characters in his songs uh, are very likable, and if they're not, then they kind of get what's coming to them. Young Moses is one example of somebody who's a likable character, where like he could have had it all given to him, but he just went out in search of something on his own. And he's a lot happier as a result of that. And so that's kind of a theme throughout a lot of Josh's songs. And there's one line in particular in here that I'll mention after I play it, that always, well, a couple of them that always make me laugh. But this is Young Moses, and I hope you enjoy it. Lay down, young Moses, child, you're under the star a while, and your heart and quiet soul, and stay a while in the house of gold. Each room has many mansions, each mansion many rooms. You'll sleep on sheets of silver, you'll eat on plates of moon. I will take up wild linen, I will rove and go. I do not need your mansions, I live in the house of soul. Bring me my Florida water, set me my serpent free. Hang me no stars above me, I'm bound for expedite. All the love that they're gonna give me, all the love, all the love, all the love. They're gonna be my family now, and y'all can keep your thrones. I've been upon the mountain, I've been to the end of the line. I missed the fiery curtain, the only place I touched was mine. I burn me through Ohio, I'll find the Apple Sea. There lives on lightning bugs, his mouth that glow when he begins to preach. I'll burn me through the handle, I'll drink the cactus truths. I'll sleep with Periotos, he's the color of the conquer. I got my heavy working down on your capstone too. I am the king of milk mix. Honey, say my name, you know it's true. I got my heavy working, I take my lightning sweet. I've been the beast of burden, that is to say that I'm a beast. All right, and that was Young Moses. So, as promised, the lines that I find humorous in this particular song. First of all, Moses using the word y'all, that strikes me as being hilarious. And then Burn Me Through Ohio. I feel like Moses is a little too good for Ohio. But maybe that's just me. And then the Florida water, same thing. That's kind of funny. So maybe a modern take, but I do enjoy that song. So this next song is one that I have a lot of songs in my head that are just kind of in my subconscious. So when I need kind of a feel for a song, I'm like, oh, I want it to be like that, right? And ever since hearing Henrietta, Indiana, this next song, I really wanted to write a song that had a city's title in it, and so what I wound up with was this whole saga about this person named Alpharetta Netta, and the title track was inspired by Henrietta, Indiana, and I've had a couple of songs prior to, after that were inspired by Henrietta, Indiana. The most recent one being a song called Antebellum. But this is Henrietta, Indiana, and this is a little bit more along the lines of somebody who gets what's coming to them. So they go off on their own, and then they wind up getting in trouble as a result of that. Spoiler alert. But this is Henrietta, Indiana, and I hope you enjoy it. Henrietta, Indiana, Milltown, like a factory down and shut it up tight. My daddy and my brother and 1,600 others lost everything they had that night. My daddy got a taste for the hot stuff. Henrietta, Indiana was dry. We'd ride out to Putney. He'd tell me he loved me. The drive home was always so quiet. Had the devil in his eye. Yeah, like a thorn in the paw, disregard for the law, disappointment to the Lord on high. My brother practiced preaching in the basement, perspiration on his face till I knew that something was missing. His spirit was willing, he could not believe it was. Blessed be the poor, he said, your treasure is on high. All of Henrietta, Indiana heard me, hallelujah, when I finally saw the devil in his eyes, saw the devil in his eyes. Yeah, eyes like a thorn in the paw, disregard for the law, disappointment to the Lord on high. I was coming home late from the midnight date. The radio said that I did the plates, left 3 men dead, made their escape by now. Said the sheriff, they'll be in the next day. Will we be able to catch them? Can we send the dogs in? Can we call in the bureau? Do they have the next of kin? Gamers came to my door, I opened it wide. They thought I was crying. It was something in my eyes. At night I leave a bottle on the table, a Bible open to the Sermon on the Mount. Blessed be the poor of Henrietta, Indiana, but happy are the ones who get out. I think I'll drive over to Putney. The store will be open till 12. The empty parking lot, the lights, the lonely kid, the register, I can see it all clear as a bell. Got the devil in my eye. Like a thorn in the paw, disregard for the law, disappointment to the Lord on high. Like a thorn in the paw, disregard for the law, disappointment to the Lord on high. All right, and that was Henrietta, Indiana, one of my favorites. Just again, and this will come out in the next couple of songs too, but just the way that he strings those words together, just incredible. Yeah, so speaking of stringing together words, this one not only, like, Henrietta, Indiana is a good song, it, strings all the words together, but some of that is craft, right? And so with this is craft, but these lyrics are a lot funnier, and a lot more upbeat and all of that. So there's a lot more literary stuff going on with this, that makes it kind of interesting. So I'll talk about this song a little bit more after I play it, but this is a song called Getting Ready to Get Down, and I hope you enjoy it. Mama got a look at you and got a little worried. Papa got a look at you, got a little worried. Pastor got a look, said y'all better hurry. Sent her off to a little Bible college in Missouri. And now you're coming back, so you know a little bit about everything they hope that you never ever figure out. Eve ate the apple because she thought it was sweet. What kind of God would ever keep a girl from getting what she needs? And now I'm getting ready to get down, getting ready to get down, getting ready to get down. Now people cross the street when you walk in their direction, talking between the teeth, throwing out epithets. Doctor thinks the devil must have got you by your senses, but to live the way you please don't sound like possession. 4 long years of studying the Bible, the infidel says it's 4 long years of studying the Bible. The infidels, Jezebel, Solomon's and Delilah's. Bag off your bus in your hometown. See, if you didn't like me then, you won't like me now. And Getting ready to get down, getting ready to get down, getting ready to get down. All the men of the country club, ladies of the Zillery, talking about love like it's apple pie and liberty. To really be a saint, you gotta really be a virgin. Dry as a page from the King James Version. No lies, no oh hell yes, no I can't wait. Gotta see you again. Just turn the other cheek and take no chances. Jesus hates your high school dances. They said your soul needed saving, so they sent you off to Bible school. You know a little more than they had heard in the golden rule. Be good to everybody, be a strength to the weak, a joy to the joyful, be laughter in the grieving. Give your love free to whoever you please. Don't let nobody tell you about who you ought to be. And when you get damned in the popular opinion, that's just another damn of the damns you won't be given. And now I'm getting ready to get down, getting ready to get down, getting ready to get down. Mama got a look at you, got a little worried. Papa got a look at you, got a little worried. Pastor said, look now, y'all better hurry. Send her off to a little Bible college in Missouri. Now you're coming back saying you know a little bit about everything they hope that you never ever figure out. The Red Sea, the Dead Sea, Sermon on the Mount. If you want to see a miracle, watch me get down, 'cause I'm getting ready to get down, getting ready to get down, getting ready to get down. And I'm getting ready to get down, getting ready to get down, getting ready to get down. All right, and that was Getting Ready to Get Down. I don't know how well you can see it, but I do have, so first of all, this is my influences wall for anybody new to my live streams, and the only one, well, I mean, there are some that I, maybe don't have one on there. I don't know why I don't have a picture of Bob Dylan on there. I think it's kind of, speaking of sacrilege, it's a little bit like, having Yahweh's picture up there or actually saying his name. And so that's probably why, but I'll rectify that. Josh Ritter has quickly become one of my biggest influences, and I do not have a picture of him up there, but I do have a bumper sticker that says "Jesus hates your high school dances." And of course, I live in the Bible Belt, and so if I put that on my car, people would be like, "Yeah, this kid knows what he's talking about. This guy knows what he's talking about, right?" But I don't want that, so I just put it up in my room so that I could explain to people that no, it's sarcastic. I mean, I could do that anyway, but it's a lot better if I just put it up there. The other line that always gets to me in that, and I mean, there are so many. I could teach a whole class on every single line in that song. But one of the other ones that always strikes me as funny is the pastor said, "Look, now y'all better hurry, send her off to a little Bible college in Missouri." So I actually have a former student who is going to a Bible college in Missouri, and it was funny because that particular class and I, we bonded quite a bit over music, and so as soon as she told me that her parents wanted to send her to a Bible college in Missouri, I'm like, you gotta hear this song. And so she heard it and she was like, "Oh my gosh, that's ridiculous. That's so crazy." So that always makes me laugh. But Aaron, if you are listening or if you're watching, shout out to you. Yeah. So that is Getting Ready to Get Down. So many great lines from that one song alone. And I actually have an album about calling people out on their religious hypocrisy that's called Jesus Hates Your High School Dances. And the opening track was inspired by this one and has a line in it that says, "You'd be nowhere if the Bible Belt didn't hold up your pants." And I just think, to this day, I think that's an amazing line. But next song is a little more of a serious one, and this is a song called "Seeing Me Round." And this is one he played Getting Ready to Get Down when I saw him live, but he definitely played this one. I remember this performance very well. So this is "Seeing Me Around." Stabbed me once and shot me twice, threw me off a bridge and through the ice. And after all you put me through, it seems your champagne days were few, but you'll be seeing me around. 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 My hands were tied, my clothes were torn. You threw me naked to your thorns and sent me out in vain to find a cross too high for you to climb. But you'll be seeing me around. 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 Doctors look and shook their head, but they wouldn't say if I was dead. His heart has stopped, we checked his eyes, and something made us look there twice. You'll be seeing me around. 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 All right, and that was "Seeing Me Around," which is also coincidentally what I tell people when after I eat a big meal. You'll be seeing me around. All right, so this next song is, this falls into the category much like "To the Dogs or Whoever," what I was telling. Oh, I forgot that story about that song too, by the way, so let me tell that really quick. So I texted my mom last night because growing up, we had this book called "Is This a House for Hermit Crab?" And one of my friends, I won't dive into why, but one of my friends made a comment about how she resembled a lowlife hermit crab. And I'm thinking I am stealing that for a song. I don't care, even though I knew the context in which she meant it. But anyway, so I texted my mom and I said, yeah, some of my favorite songwriters have been inspired by Moby Dick and characters like people like Joan of Arc and Florence Nightingale and things like that. And meanwhile, I just wrote a song based on "Is This a House for Hermit Crab?" And it was a really good song too. I'm not bashing it, but it was one of those things where I'm like, yeah, we're a little bit on slightly different wavelengths in terms of the literary references that we make. But anyway, so I was talking with my mom last weekend, I guess it was, and she, I was telling her that there were certain Josh Ritter songs where, made me appreciate him even more. But some of it is just like, all right, chill, man. Like, a lot of words. And literally, he has a shirt and sweatshirts and all of that that say rock and roll with a lot of words. So he warns us, but but covering them, man, different ball games sometimes. And this is one of those examples, similar to "Getting Ready to Get Down," "To the Dogs or Whoever," and then this completes the trifecta. This is a song called "Cumberland," and I hope you enjoy it. All my friends say, "What's out in Cumberland?" Cumberland. Gonna get lonesome when you get out in Cumberland. Stay in the city, boy, winter's a wonderland. They all mean well, I will remember them. Oh boy, gotta get yourself back in the country now, in the country now. Oh boy, gotta get yourself back in the country now. Wander through the holler, honey, wander through the glen. Neighborly with silhouettes, copperheads, moccasins. Build a little cabin, honey, throw a little window in. Watch the breeze blowing through the hickories, the dandelions. Oh boy, gotta get yourself back in the country now, to the country now. Oh boy, gotta get yourself back in the country now. If you get there before I do, tell everybody I'm coming too. I know a pretty girl, prettiest there's ever been. Wild as a weed and sweeter than a mandolin. I ain't a handsome man, bet you'll take me as I am. Haven't met her yet, but I bet she lives in Cumberland. Oh boy, gotta get yourself back in the country now, in the country now. Oh boy, gotta get yourself back in the country now. So before you start talking about the wonders of the world again, the Taj Mahal and Great Wall, the places I've never been, take a little drive, take a little trip to heaven and wonder for a while if it's paradise or Cumberland. Oh boy, gotta get yourself back in the country now, in the country now. Oh boy, gotta get yourself back in the country now. Oh boy, gotta get yourself back in the country now, to the country now. Oh boy, gotta get yourself back in the country now. All right, and that was Cumberland. During one of his live streams, he played that, and I think he said he only had 5 minutes to write a song, and so he just kept on going with Cumberland, and fitting those words in. But pretty impressive for that. I actually skipped a song, and I apologize for that. This is a song called "Where the Night Goes." And this is another one where there are so many. This is one where there are so many just great songs, so many great lines within this one song. And I try to mix it up. I do my album titles based on lines in other songs, and I have one that's called "The Sheriff of Hell." But there are so many, like in this one alone, similar to even the pawn must hold a grudge. So this is Where the Night Goes, and I hope you enjoy it. Heard the word from Brenda Lee, you ain't coming home, she said. Cross my heart, I cannot believe it. Holy hell, you gonna struck me dead. But 3 cheers from the grapevine, what? Told me you weren't coming home. And let's see where the night takes us. Let's see where the night goes. I admit it's been slow going. You pay your bills and they still own you. You know the way we miss laid plans. Yeah, this is me, this is who I am now. I make the rounds and pay my dues. Meet up with friends and I dream about you. It isn't much, but it's still a lie. Come on, honey, now let's get lost in those long nights. Old cars, back roads and the boneyards. Driving them better like a holy roll. The sheriff of hell couldn't pull you over. Tough girl from a bad town, brought up not to stay down. Sweet tea, white lightning, breaking hearts and not minding. Come on in, it's so good to see you. It's been so long, I know. And let's see where the night takes us. Let's see where the night goes. Last I saw you was a Greyhound waiting. Said it won't be sad and blue. LA's not the destination. Still I believe that I must pass through. I saw your face from time to time. Now you are coming home. And let's see where the night takes us. Let's see where the night goes. Only the lonely know the way I'm feeling. Only the living go to the graveyard grieving. We're still alive and you're still astounding. Feel the pulse of the world mountain. Feel the pull of the American diverse. The mountains, the rivers, the fields, the harvest. It's all we have and that's a lie. Come on, honey, now let's get lost in the long nights. Old cars, back roads, and the boneyards. You drop the pedal like a holy roll. The sheriff of Elgin will you over. Tough girl from the bad town, brought up to stay down. Sweet tea, white lightning, breaking knots and not minding. Come on in, it's so good to see you. It's been so long, I know. And let's see where the night takes us. Let's see where the night goes in the long nights. Old cars, back roads, and the boneyard. Drop the pedal like a holy roll. The sheriff of Elgin will you over. Tough girl from the bad town, brought up and stayed down. Sweet tea, white lightning, breaking knots and not minding. Come on in, it's so good to see you. It's been so long, I know. And let's see where the night takes us. Let's see where the night goes. A long night, the old car, back roads and the boneyard. All right, and that was Where the Night Goes. That song was actually before Cumberland, so I apologize for that. But we're back on track, going in order. This next song, although not the last song on the record, this was the last song that he played, at least before the encore, when I saw him live. This is a song called Homecoming, and again is off of Sermon on the Rocks. And I hope you enjoy it. I feel a change in the weather, I feel a change in me. The days are getting shorter and the birds begin to leave, even me. Yes, yeah. Who's been so long alone, I'm headed home. The nights are getting colder now, the air is getting crisp. I first tasted the universe on a night like this. A box of wine and alibi and hunger in her eyes, in a place where the tree of good and evil still resides. Homecoming, homecoming. She said, show me what you got, babe. I'm not like the other girls, just give me your bad self in a place to make a stand, and I can move the world. Lift the valley from the floor, honey, it'll turn to the sky. They'll say it's a miracle, and you know damn well they're right, Homecoming, don't go away now. Homecoming, don't go away now. Homecoming, don't go away now. Homecoming. Hey now, when the oracle spoke to me, it was like a roadside song. Don't go away now. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you, even if they turn to you wrong. Ain't now this town right here is my everything, and though I've been torn away, don't go away now. It had my heart, it still has my be still my heart. My heart will stay now. My heart will stay. My heart will stay. Don't go away now. Just get a little bit high, just get a little bit tongue-tied. I'm gonna try to find whatever time, make time. In that kind of immemorial, that time before the fall. That time before the autumn really turned the corner. Drive east of Eden till we start to feel the west. We were never far from nowhere. You could see it from the edge of town. Honey, baby, wonder how it'd feel now. Somehow I can't believe it, it could be like before, but the air is getting colder now, the nights are getting crisp. I first tasted the universe on a night like this. A box of wine, an alibi, and hunger in your eyes. In a place where the tree of good and evil still resides. I'm homecoming, 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 homecoming. Don't go away now, homecoming, 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 homecoming. All right, and that was Homecoming. Next one, we're going to slow it down quite a bit. I actually should have slowed it down for that one, too. That's a little bit slower than I was playing it. But this is a song called The Stone by Josh Ritter, and I hope you enjoy it. Change your face, change your name, rip the roots that you laid down, rip the roots that you laid down. You keep your hurt, you keep your pain in close company now, close company now. Lying awake in a different house with different arms around you now. In a different street, in a different town, on the same old road, that the night comes down, that the night comes down. Love will burn a hole through your human doubts and free your heart from the stone. Free your heart from the stone, and the stone may roll, but it'll search you out. No matter where you go, it'll find you. Lying awake in a different house with different arms around you now. In a different street, in a different town, on the same old road, that the night comes down, that the night comes down. All right, and that was The Stone. Next one we're going to do, just got a couple more with this particular album. Next one we're going to do is a song called A Big Enough Sky. I really, really like the metaphor. Actually, I love the metaphors on all of these, but the stone, that was a really cool thing, that like the stone may roll away, but it's always going to try creeping back in, no matter who you try to replace your last love with. It's sad, but it's true. And I'll actually get to that in another Josh Ritter song in a little bit. But this next song is a song called Big Enough Sky, or A Big Enough Sky, I should say.
Wanna
Wanna go where the sweet water is, wanna go where the air is pure. I need the sky so big I can give my heart to her. Somewhere along the line, a little train jumped off the tracks. She lost a little faith in me, it's gonna take some time, gonna get it back. What happened to the riverbed? What happened to the prairie fire? Can you tell me where the lightning went every time that you met mine? Didn't notice when the wind picked up, I wasn't willing to when the clouds rolled in. If you ever fell out of love, could you ever fall back again? Out where the sweet water is, out where the air is pure. I need the sky so big I can give my heart to her. Yeah, I've been letting a lot of things slide, I've been letting a lot of things go. I thought I was the one for you, but the truth is sometimes I don't know. What happened to the riverbed? What happened to the prairie fire? Can you tell me where the lightning went every time I met your eye? Didn't notice when the wind picked up, wasn't looking when the clouds rolled in. If you ever fell out of love, could you ever fall back again? Out where the sweet water is, out where the air is pure. I need the sky so big I can give my heart to her. Hey baby, there's a place I found, still believe we can stay in love. I believe a lot of things, honey, when the sky is big enough. I believe a lot of things, honey, when the sky is big enough. All right, and that was A Big Enough Sky. Really, it's, I don't know, like, it sounds like it's an upbeat song. It kind of is, but it's a little bit sad that, you know, something happened, but this guy still believes. Poor fool. Poor bastard, as my grandpa would say. So this next song is a song called Lighthouse Fire. And every time I hear this song, it just blows me away how phenomenal it is. That's the word of the night. But I'm going to do my own rendition of it. This is Lighthouse Fire. Gonna build you a cathedral of nothing but the rafters, between the stars, between the stars, between the stars, between the stars. From the tree of good and evil, bring you fruit of the knowledge. It's your heart, of your heart, of your heart, of your heart. Gonna build you a cathedral out of nothing but the rafters, between the stars, between the stars, between the stars, between the stars. From the tree of good and evil, bring the fruit of the nines. Of your heart, of your heart, is the heart of your heart, of your mind. Love is a lighthouse fire. My 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 love, between the sugar and the cane is where I wanna stay, wanna stay, wanna stay, wanna stay, wanna stay. Out where the high and the highway meets the sky, meets the sky, meets the sky, meets the Milky Way. Why? Between the sugar and the cane is where I wanna stay, wanna stay, wanna stay, wanna stay, wanna stay. Out where the high and the highway meets the sky, meets the sky, meets the sky, meets the Milky Way. Why meets it? My love, it's a lighthouse fire. My love is 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 a lighthouse fire. All right, and that was Lighthouse Fire by Josh Ritter. All of the last, I guess, 11 songs that I've played have been off of Sermon on the Rocks, but in case you tuned in late, this is a tribute to Josh Ritter, so I'm playing all stuff from his catalog. The reason why I really focused on Sermon on the Rocks is because it's a great, great album, but also it turned 5 yesterday, and it's doing virtual learning. Just signed up for kindergarten. But it did celebrate its 5th birthday yesterday, and is because it's 5, it's old enough to ride horses, and so coincidentally, the last line, or the last song, I should say, on the album is "My Man on a Horse is Here." I promised, I kind of teased this last week because there's a song of mine called 12 Years that I played, and it was inspired by this song. And so this is the original. I worked it out a little bit better than I had last week, so it ended up working out nicely. But this is "My Man on a Horse is Here." This concludes Sermon on the Rocks, and not our live stream. I still got a couple more after this. But this is "My Man on a Horse is Here." Waiting, yeah, I've been waiting for the day, the hour, the moment you'd appear. And now, just look at you, my man on a horse is here. Praying, yeah, I've been praying, though some will say my prayers fall on deaf ears. I never doubted you, my man on a horse is here. Hidey, 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 hey. Hidey, 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 hey. Hidey, 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 do. Come on, come on, come on. Make it the best of a bad time. I'm thinking of you all the damn time. I must love the pain I keep it to myself. Sometimes I'm in heaven, sometimes somewhere else. Honey, please come take. I can't sleep, it keeps me awake. Yeah, I can't keep it together, I can't close my eyes. I'm still bringing the record, more dreams in one night. Wasting, wasting my bestest love, my bourgeois, my tears. You've come to save me, my man on a horse is here. You've come to save me, my man on a horse is here. All right, and that was "My Man on a Horse is Here." And that concludes Sermon on the Rocks, 12 tracks of just incredible, incredible lyricism. One of my favorites there. Now, his follow-up, I need to listen to it again because people in this Josh Ritter page just like swear by it. And it didn't do as much for me as some of his other albums. But my bar was set super high with Sermon on the Rocks at the time, so I think that was probably it. But in going back and listening to at least one of the singles, "Showboat," is just a fabulous album. And Bob Weir, I can't remember how that's pronounced, but the guy from Grateful Dead, he worked with Josh on this album quite a bit. And so how be, right? But this is a song called "Showboat," and I hope you enjoy it. Every time it rains, it pours. I pray it rains just a little more on me. 'Cause I'm the guy who never cries, and I gotta keep my reputation clean. And here's a helpful tip: the rain administered in raindrops may help to hide the tears a little more. Which is why the guy who never cries looks up at the sky with open eyes, hoping when it finally rains it pours. I'm just a showboat, won't catch me crying, no, won't catch me showing any hurt. I'm just a showboat, pretending I can stay afloat, pretending I ain't sinking over. Every time the sun goes down, I pray the sunlight takes the sound as well. 'Cause I'm the guy who never cries, and I gotta give the pain to myself. No light to see me shaking, no sound to hear me breaking, no sound to hear the teardrops hit the floor. Which is why a man who never cries stays up all night with hopeful eyes, hoping when it finally rains it pours. Now I'm just a showboat, pretending I can stay afloat. I'm just a showboat, won't catch me crying, no, won't catch me showing any hurt. Pretending I ain't sinking over. Every time I think of her, I wonder if she ever thinks of me. Out all night and running wild, the latest style's the greatest company. With laughter, lights, and drinking, trying not to keep from thinking and seeing for what he is searching for. Which is why the guy who never cries looks up at the sky with helpful, desperate eyes, hoping when it finally rings it pours. I'm just a showboat, oh King Thunderbolt, Mr. Lebon, the only dog in every fight, the only guy who's dynamite, the only guy who never cries. He's never lonesome all the time. See him dancing up on tables, Shauna's, Lisa's, Ethel's, Mabel's. Though he looks a little tired, one eye always pointed skyward, waiting for a drop of rain to falling down to hide the pain, to falling down to lift the boat, so we can still think it's afloat, pretending he ain't sinking, no, pretending he ain't sinking over. Pretending it's sinking over. All right, and that was Showboat off of Gathering from 2017, his follow-up to Sermon on the Rocks, Josh Ritter, that is. Yeah, I've been showcasing his music all night long. I would also like to showcase Lionel Richie's music all night long, but that's a little more expensive. So that is the representation from Gathering. Before I go into his last or his most recent two releases, I guess, I did want to play a non-album song that I came across in quarantine, and he, I think, like debuted it or something like right before stuff shut down, or maybe it was like a month before or something, but. Kind of wild timing, but this is Our Father's War, and I hope you enjoy it. Came out of rivals with something in his eyes that wasn't there, and you've been waiting for him beneath the white fluorescent glare. He throws his bags down, he picks you up, he's spinning you around, holding on so tightly that you cannot even make a sound. This is your favorite memory of him, polished beautifully. You've thought about it often, both reflexively and dutifully. You don't care who he was, or who he was fighting, or who he was fighting for. Only that your father finally come home from your father's war. Now 18 years have passed, we're still in Afghanistan, with IEDs, armored Humvees, Burger Kings, and quicksand. And the folks that started up the fight are getting old and dying. And it's harder to remember just why the hell we're fighting. So we wrap the reasons in a flag show film of 9/11. Every day they remind us that all soldiers go to heaven. It's heaven for Americans, the ones who please the Lord. Remember, even Jesus had to fight his father's war. You meet a man who you love, who reminds you of your father, the way he used to be before his outlook got so dark. He sweeps you off your feet, carries you across the threshold of a new line, then ships out. You're 22 years old. He calls you when he can from an undisclosed location. Then something happens, he's sent off, put on medication. He wakes up every night in AR-15 to his chest with your head him on his shoulder. You can hear your father's war. But now laser guided missiles beam films of their immolation. Fossil fuel removal architecture runs on radiation. Lines of code all stowed away deep inside a terabyte. In economic serfdom is conferred upon the non-compliant. You don't have to understand it all, but that's okay, nobody does. It's hard for souls to comprehend the horrors they commit, and thus they do their work behind a wall, behind a screen, a door, so they don't have to see what he saw when it was your father's war. This is so he'll finish off his tour for duty in a park office in Maryland, facilitating drone strikes in border towns of Pakistan. And that's all that he told you. It's amazing he's told you anything. But you've seen it on cable news, the hospitals and weddings. And at first you think it'll be alright, he'll come home from work each evening. But he's no longer all love and light, he's silent or he's seething. And you love him more than anything, but you've seen this all before. And in every way that matters, this is still your father's war. This is still your father's war, and your father's father's war, and it's his father's war, and his father before his father's war. And this is how it's gonna be right now through generations. War improving only on its cruelties with innovation, and prove that we can take revenge and slaughter without notice. And everything we wanted with what's left will wipe the floor. So maybe it's just easier to go fight our father's war. All right, and that was Our Father's War. I like that song because it's kind of protesting the war, but not the people fighting in it necessarily. So it's kind of a nice middle ground, respecting what they do, but also recognizing that it's hell. We are going to move on to our last 4 songs of the night. And we're moving on now to Fever Breaks, which is actually it's last 3 songs now that I'm saying that. But uh, this is an album called Fever Breaks, and it was released last year. It was produced by Jason Isbell and has a collaboration or two with Amanda Shires playing on it. And I'm just going to say this. I think that should be a law, that Josh Ritter and Jason Isbell have to make an album together, every album cycle or so. It was an amazing collaboration. And so this was the first single off of that particular record, Fever Breaks, and this is a song called Old Black Magic. True love to true love and rust to rust. I let the others cast stones while I drew in the dust. I tried to be a good man, something changes in the wind. I got that old black magic rolling in now. Wave upon wave, now here come the dreams, and I can't see the lighthouse, and the lighthouse can't scream. Don't you know I need you so bad? Tell me where the hell you been? I got that old black magic rolling in now, rolling, rolling, rolling in now, rolling, rolling, rolling in. I can't sleep for crying, I'm crying all the time. Everybody's got an angel and I got my wings of a crow, overshadowing. I got that old black magic rolling in now, rolling, rolling, rolling in now, rolling, rolling, rolling in. I know the way it goes down, it's all in my head. I feel it rising from its on my bed. Sure, not devil, sure, not his friend, but I know for sure what's rolling in now. You never asked for fire, you already were a thief, so I knew you'd be fine with me when I needed you to be. Steal my soul now, honey, keep it for me when I got that old black magic rolling in now, rolling, rolling, rolling in now. There was a time I knew you and you knew me. There was nothing in between us far as we could see. Don't you know I need my true love, my truest friend? I got that old black magic rolling in now, rolling, rolling, 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 rolling in now. All right, and that was Old Black Magic. Like I said, off of Fever Breaks, Josh Ritter's album from 2019. You remember 2019? How cool a year that was? Yeah, I do too. You know, so it's good to reflect there. Although the last song that I play is going to be a song from 2020 that Josh Ritter released. So that's good. But even that one, I'll explain a little bit. So one thing that I mentioned earlier with Joy to You Baby, Josh Ritter is really, really good at um, holding people accountable within relationships, we'll say. But also he's very reflective, and in a song like "Joy to You, Baby," and this song "I Still Love You Now and then the last song that I play, they're very reflective and not super bitter. And I'm not there yet, but similar to how Maroon Five gives me a lot of confidence to say things in music that I maybe couldn't say otherwise. Uh, Josh Ritter, same thing, except Maroon Five helps me with with the anger, and then Josh kind of mellows it out and says, "Yeah, here's your closure." But this is a song called "I Still Love You Now and Then," and yeah, hope you enjoy it. They all say you're doing well, living down in Arkansas. You got a family, now they tell. The old days never called to you. Me, I'm working for the man, but he ain't got the best of me. I have friends and I have lands, and someone's got the rest of me. But I still love you now and then. I still love you now and then. I still love you now and then when I think of you. Yeah, I still love you now and then. I still love you now and then. I still love you now and then when I think of you. Said broken arm will leave a scar. Yeah, I even knew myself and I keep my head up, though it's hard. All of these things take a little time, 'cause I still love you now and then. I still love you now and then. I still love you now and then when I think of you. Yeah, I still love you now and then. I still love you now and then. I still love you now and then when I think of you. Never mind what they say. How are you these days? I laugh and say I'm doing fine. It's gonna take some time. It's gonna take more than time. I wish for you the very best. You always were the best of us. There was you, then there's the rest. And that's the girl I'm thinking of. 'Cause I still love you now and then. I still love you now and then. I still love you now and then when I think of you. Yeah, I still love you now and then. Yeah, I still love you now and then. Yeah, I still love you now and then when I think of you. Yeah, I still love you now and then when her fingers brush my skin. When the night falls over all of everything that's been. and everything we were. And yeah, and I still love you now and then. When I think of you, when I think of you. Alright, and that was I Still Love You Now and Then. Yeah, by Josh Ritter, again produced by Jason Isbell. So earlier this year, a couple months ago, Josh released a live album, or not a live album, an EP. It had some live songs on it. And it was called See Here I Have Built You a Mansion, which I think is phenomenal. And just really quick, aside from having really good songs, it has amazing cover art too. I just love this this cover, and Josh drew it himself. If I'm not mistaken, he drew it himself. He's a visual artist as well, and so this is a song from that album. Sorry, my leg was falling asleep there. But this is the way that he described this record was just a bunch of songs that he liked but didn't know what to do with, and so he just kind of put them out together. And this is actually one that he wrote for Joan Baez. So you want to talk about phenomenal songwriters. He wrote this for her, and she cut it, and then he did his own version of it. Or maybe it was like this was the demo from it or something. I don't know. But it's funny because before I knew that, I immediately thought that it reminded me of Bob Dylan in the something from Blood on the Tracks a little bit. If you gotta go, go now. Things like that. And so this is Be of Good Heart, and this is going to close things out. I never had a crystal ball. I never had a crystal stone. I never claimed to know it all. All I know is what I've known. But I know even I have never had before. So if you really gotta go, be of good heart evermore. I hear the wild dog in the dark. I hear the wind out in the pines. But there's no travel near or far without the crossing of my mind. Still a reflection in your eyes shows the road stretched out before. So if you really gotta go, be of good heart evermore. I don't know nothing about where you're going. That don't mean a thing to me. You have secrets I don't know, and I have scars you cannot read. I know your past ain't far behind. I hear it knocking on the door. So if you really gotta go, be of good heart evermore. So if you really gotta go, be of good heart evermore. Alright, and that was Be of Good Heart, the Josh Ritter / Joan Baez song. One of my favorites off of See Here I Have Built You a Mansion, and I took you through 10 different albums and then one EP. and then one non-album single as well. So that would end up being 30 songs and about 2.5 hours. No matter how long you tuned in for that stretch, I appreciate you. Next week will probably be a little bit shorter, but no guarantees there. It'll be the Even the Sun Sets in Paradise live stream, and I am looking forward to bringing that to you. Make sure that you check me out on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, obviously. Make sure you subscribe, and I'm on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitch now as well. Streaming on Twitch, so be sure to check me out there. And like I said, I appreciate it, and I appreciate Josh Ritter too. Go listen to some of his stuff. I will definitely make a playlist, but go seek out some of his other stuff too, because there are songs that I missed, and we'll get to next week as well. But thank you so much. I'm Minnesota Mike. Have a good week and a good rest of your weekend.